Before we start, I'd like to explain. This is a UU match I had against some random guy from Smogon. His team is a Mew, a Donphan, a Victini, an Ambipom, a Nidoking, and a Zapdos. I have a Donphan, a Machamp, a Milotic, a Zapdos, a Houndoom, and a Shaymin. So I lead off with a Houndoom, but he brings out Nidoking. So I decide to switch out into Zapdos. He goes for Earth Power, and ha! Gotcha. So he calls out Nidoking, goes into Donphan, go for Air Cutter, and I miss! So I bring back Zapdos, go into Milotic, take a Stone Edge. Now this is a very interesting Milotic set I run. I run Rest, Sleep Talk, Scald, and Ice Beam. I do Rest after I take damage just to get Marvel skills so physical attacks don't do anything. And so any status moves won't affect me either. So I Sleep Talk, get Ice Beam on the Zapdos, which is just awesome. And yeah. So he calls back Zapdos, goes into Mew. Fast asleep still. Milotic's having like a little nap time on the field. Get Skull, but don't get a burn. So I switch out and go into Donphan. He goes for Stealth Rocks. He goes for Will-O-Wisp. I don't really care because Donphan is just for me to set up. So I go for my own Stealth Rocks. And I get hurt by my burn. So he brings back Mew, goes into his own Donphan, and there are two Donphans on the field now. So I go for Rapid Spin just to blow away the Stealth Rocks because I don't want my Houndoom to get hurt, or my Zapdos for that matter. So I switch out, go into Shaymin. He goes for EQ, gets a critical hit that does 43%. We both get our lefties. He calls back Donphan, goes into Victini. I'm like, hi Victini, and I miss a Seed Flare. So it's just a great big miss fest for me out on the field. So I go into my own Houndoom predicting a weak rate, but he goes for U-turn and it does massive chunk. So he goes on to his Ambipom. I know this Ambipom set which I run, but I didn't know that it was running this Ambipom set in particular. Goes for Fake Out Milotic, does nothing because of Marvel scale. So I switch out again, pull a double switch into Machamp. He goes for Last Resort and it does giant amount. But Scarf, Jolly, Max Speed, Dynamic Punch will just kill any Ambipom whatsoever. So I switch out, go into Milotic again. As he goes for Ice Shard, which is 4%. And Ice Shard is physical, so it's even better. Calls Donphan out, goes into Mew again. I'm still fast asleep. Milotic is a lazy little. And I get Ice Beam, which is whatever. So now he goes for Psyshock, which is probably a bad move to use against a Milotic with sky high defenses, but okay. So I go for Skull and get a burn, yay! Because I have almost nothing to do with this Mew, which is just bad. So he goes for another Psyshock, gets a crit. He's getting so many crits. Go for Rest, yay! Get lefties, he gets burned. Goes for Stealth Rocks again. I'm still fast asleep. I use Sleep Talk and I get Skull, which brings him down to 23%. 17% now after the burn. He goes for Roost. So I'm still asleep. Milotic is just so sleepy. And I get Rest and it fails. And I don't know why the player character shows female. I clearly picked male. Must be something to do with the replay viewer. So I go into Houndoom, live the Stealth Rocks 14%, be immune to the Psyshock. That would have hurt if I got hit with one of the other moves. I can't remember what it was. And I'm just like that. I don't remember how many turns it took because I'm just lazy like that. So I go for Dark Pulse, get a flinch and 46% damage. So now it's just gonna die to another Dark Pulse. And down that annoying Mew goes. So out comes Nidoking. So switch out. I think this is. I thought this was a Scarf Nidoking, but well, you'll see later. He goes for Thunderbolt, gets 39%. He goes for another Thunderbolt, brings me down to 1% of HP, and I Roost. I don't know why this thing outspeeds. I don't even. Goes for another Thunderbolt, and I can just Roost stall him even though, and then get up to a high amount where I can just kill him with some random move, or at least try to. But no, I'm just doing that to get my HP back, so I go out into Donphan. Now this is where the prediction of Scarf King came into effect. Right here, I thought it was Scarf King, and... oh wait, no. What am I talking about? So I call back Donphan, pull a double switch into Zapdos. But I see the Donphan, and I go for a triple switch, just watch. Bang to Milotic. Goes for Stone Edge and misses. Yay! Even though it wouldn't have mattered because my defenses are sky high, like I said earlier. So I go for Sleep Talk, get Ice Beam. And if my voice sounds crappy, I do apologize. Goes for Stone Edge, doesn't do anything. Get Ice Beam. I'm still asleep. Goes for Sleep Talk, and Skull will kill. Donphan faints, and yeah. So out comes the Victini, and I know something's up if you're gonna bring out a Victini or the Milotic. So I switch to the Shaman. Goes for Fusion Bolt, which is... I know they can learn by event, but I didn't think he'd put that on the... but whatever. So out comes the Zapdos, and I go for Earth Power, and yeah. Does it remind you of the start of the battle? So I go for Leech Seed, just to seed the Zapdos, because I know I can live one Heat Wave, and I do with just 1%. And I get lots of HPs back, and at this point I don't really need Shaman against anything he has, so I just go for Aromatherapy, Cure the Burn, and the Sleep, although the Sleep would... I didn't really need... I actually wanted the Sleep, but who cares? So I go back into Machamp, go for Stone Edge and kill the Zapdos. Thanks to No Guard, it definitely kills. So out comes the Nidoking, and I know I can't hurt him with Stone Edge. So I go out into Donphan again, and I die to an Ice Beam. Yay. In fact, I don't know if this thing is Scarf King or not. I don't remember the prediction. Oh yes, here. Here I think it's Scarf King, and then I just died to a Thunderbolt crit. What? I think the crit would have mattered. So I go into Machamp, live the Stealth Rocks with 8%, and kill with an Earthquake. And down the Nidoking goes. And out comes the Victini, and I'm just gonna kill it with an Earthquake, and that will be that. And I win.